Hi, John Cronin here, Head of Research for LILA Movement Technology. In this session, I'd just like to share with you a little bit of the science behind wearable resistance and what makes it so effective. One of the concepts you need to get your head around when using wearable resistance is the concept of inertia. Now, inertia means resistance to change in motion. So if we have a look at the mannequin here, this thigh here, because it has mass, has resistance to angular motion. If we actually put more mass on this thigh, it has more resistance to angular motion. It takes more muscular work at the hip to get it going. Okay, so as soon as we put mass on a limb or a segment, it has increased inertia. It is harder to get it going. It requires much more muscular effort. Rotational inertia is another concept that we need to have our head around. And rotational inertia is given by this formula, I equals mr squared. So mass is still important, but what's really important in this formula is this r squared. And what that r squared is the distance from the axis of rotation. So if we're looking here on this mannequin, we'll say the axis of rotation is at the hip. We have a 200 gram mass here. We locate the 200 gram mass very close to the axis of rotation. So it's not very far away. Its distance from the axis of rotation is not far. So its rotational inertia is minimal. If we actually put this 200 grams now down mid-thigh, that's about 25 centimeters away from the axis of rotation. So what we've done here, we've increased this radius here by 25 centimeters, and we square it. You can see by quickly changing the distance between the axis of rotation, this formula will increase substantially because of the r squared. So that shifting the same mass down to mid-femur has increased the rotational inertia substantially, and therefore the hip flexors and extensors will have to work very hard. If we put it down here, this is around about a 4% increase in rotational inertia with a 400 gram load. This loading down the bottom here, we call it distal loading. And that is a maximum distance of around about 40 to 50 centimeters away from the axis of rotation. Again, putting it into the formula, that gets squared. And once more, the rotational inertia or the resistance to change in angular motion is increased substantially. That means that the hip flexors and hip extensors have to work considerably harder. If we had 400 grams down here, that would be around about a 12% increase in rotational inertia. So every time you actually want to flex and extend the hip, it's requiring 12% more effort. These are one of the most important loading principles of using wearables resistance. That is just shifting a load further away from the axis of rotation.